The interesting battle in Punjab, of course, as we all boil down to what is going to be in a few hours results, exit polls fever, which is going to take over. But remember, 10% of the journey is yet to be traveled. Joining us this morning are our reporters as Punjab votes, Himachal votes and parts of UP and Bihar, including, of course, the PM's constituency in Varanasi are voting. Shubh Rana is in Patiala, Vipin Parmar in Chandigarh, Akshit Gupta is in Varanasi, surrounded by people. Akshit, we'll go hop across straight to you. You're speaking to people. What are they saying?
और सबसे बड़ी बात आपको बता रहे हैं कि आम आदमी दुखी है। किसी व्यापारी का भी कोई काम, जीएसटी के इतने ज़्यादा इन्होंने टैक्सेस लगा दिए हैं। अभी एक नया एमएसएमई लेकर कानून आए हैं जिसमें 45 दिन के अंदर अगर वो पेमेंट नहीं हुआ तो उनकी कमाई में जोड़ दिया जाएगा, तो गरीब व्यापारी तो मर जाएगा। ये गरीबों को मारने के लिए, व्यापारियों को खत्म करने की पूरी सरकार की योजना है। हम आएंगे, हम एक टैक्स लगाएंगे, ये सारे जितने भी एमएसएमई और जितने इन्होंने क्लास बनाए हैं जीएसटी में सब समाप्त कर देंगे। बनारसी पान पर टैक्स लगा दिया जो टैक्स फ्री था, ये कुटीर उद्योग था बनारस का। बनारसी साड़ी पर टैक्स लगा दिया, ये कुटीर उद्योग था। ये मोदी जी के आते ही बनारस के जो अपनी जो इनकी खुद की मतलब जिसको कहा जाए इन्वेंट किया था, इन्होंने खुद उसको बनाया था, उसके ऊपर टैक्स लगा दिया मोदी।
आप प्रधानमंत्री मोदी के खिलाफ खड़े हैं, उस कॉन्टेस्ट को कैसे देखते हैं? उनको एक हैवी वेट माना जाता है वाराणसी।
अरे भाई, अगर हैवी वेट मानते और घर का मानते तो यहाँ गंगा मैया के किनारे बैठ के तट पे न तपस्या करते कि समुद्र के किनारे जाके करते।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए। So of course there you heard the Congress candidate from Varanasi.
All right. Okay, Akshit, we'll try to give you a chance to hop across and speak with some people around there who are actually casting their votes. Ajay Rai, ladies and gentlemen, fascinating politician. He's a 5-time MLA. He's taking on the Prime Minister in Varanasi. He began his career in the Bharatiya Janata Party, then joined the Samajwadi Party, then contested as an independent. Now he's with the Congress, and the Congress has sent him to take on a bit of a reality check when it comes to the PM's constituency in Varanasi. Tells you that last time Ajay Rai got 1.5 lakh votes to Narendra Modi's 6.75 lakh votes. And it was the Samajwadi Party and the Congress together polled just about 3.5 lakh votes. So even if you were to do the maths and all of those votes were to combine into one individual, even then the PM would have won in a similar context 5 years ago by a margin of 4 lakh votes. The BJP is hoping that they're margin an even bigger thumping victory. Let's find out, because yes, the PM got 5.8 lakh votes in Varanasi the first time he contested from there. First time he contested from there in 2014. He improved that tally by 1 lakh votes in 2019. A much more fractured election in 2014 than in 2019. And this time around, of course, it's a pretty straightforward one. The BJP dominates the Vidhan Sabha segments. Out of the 5 MLAs there, they've got 4. And the Apna Dal, which of course is an ally of the Bharatiya Janata Party, has the 5th. So it's a dominating show for the Bharatiya Janata Party over there. Let me hop across, as you see, Amit Shah this morning, who's been, of course, making his prayers. Remember, the election campaign ended 1.5 days ago. So this is now just everybody waiting, a little bit of maneuvering, a little bit of nerves, a little bit of figuring things out. You can imagine Judgment Day, nobody's actually absolutely sure what's going to happen, because that is the complexity of an election in India. No one knows, but we're going to hazard a guest. Xavier Rodriguez joining us this morning. I still have my reporters with me, as I mentioned, and I'll be coming across to our guests very, very shortly. Let me hop across to my colleague Vipin Parmar, who's going to tell us about a very, very exciting battle happening in a union territory that's the capital of 2 states, currently held by Kiran Kher of the Bharatiya Janata Party, but by a narrow margin. She lost to the former she won against the former Union Minister Pawan Kumar Bansal last time around. Manish Tiwari, this time of the Congress, is taking on Sanjay Tandon of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Vipin, how's it going?
Well, it's quite interesting battle to watch for, because if we talk about Chandigarh, in 2014 and 2019, BJP won this seat, very comfortably, Rishabh. But this time, it's very, a very quite interesting battle to watch for, because Sanjay Tandon from BJP side and Manish Tiwari had been fielded by Congress over here in Chandigarh. But as far as the Chandigarh is concerned, people are coming out from their places. Ma'am, आपने वोट किया है, क्या मुद्दे रखे?
मैंने वोट किया
You see that people have voted, where they are coming out from their political places and they are casting their vote. But the campaign was pretty much interesting because, in Chandigarh, on the other hand, BJP, the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party, they joined hand. They fielded one candidate in alliance manner. But on the other hand, in Punjab, both parties are contesting separately. And we saw during the campaign trails, both were targeting each other. On the other hand, Congress was targeting Aam Aadmi Party and Aam Aadmi Party was caught targeting Congress. But as far as the Chandigarh is concerned, both parties, they contested election in an alliance manner under the India Alliance. But as far as the senior leaders of the Congress parties are concerned, like Pawan Bansal, he never participated in the campaign trail of Manish Tiwari. Manish Tiwari was campaigning for himself. No senior leader was seen, during his campaign trail. But on the other hand, Sanjay Tandon, who was fielded by the BJP after Kiran Kher was not given the ticket from Chandigarh. Sanjay Tandon, who was the local leader from here, he started his campaign over here in Chandigarh. But as far as the voting is concerned, you can see that we are standing at the polling station. We're few hours, back, Sanjay Tandon, he casted his vote. But as far as the voting is concerned, you see that people are coming out, but the number is not that high in the city. But as far as the colonies are concerned, people are standing in queue, long queues outside.
All right, Vipin, we'll give you a chance to just adjust your location a little bit. We have limited time, of course, and try to get some perspectives in. We would love to speak to some of the voters, some of them, of course, as we have seen throughout this election campaign, and we have been on the ground in 257 Lok Sabha constituencies. So we've covered nearly on the ground physically with our own reporters that you're seeing on your screens, thousands of miles, and tried to get you perspectives pretty much from half of the country, just right here. If you've been watching NewsX to the entire election cycle since we began 1.5 months ago, and you've been watching us in the mornings, and you're seeing these hardworking people who had a long months standing in what we call, windows. Well, there's a physicality to it, and it's going to be a long day for everyone in the heat, as it is going to be for the people who are voting. Manish Tiwari, a local boy in Chandigarh, no doubt. He was born there, studied there, but his Lok Sabha career was a lot different. Won for the first time from Ludhiana, then, of course, became a candidate from Amritsar, Anandpur Sahib, and here he is back in Chandigarh contesting a united front, and the only united front in what would be considered a union territory, but of course is also the capital of Punjab, that the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress are at war with each other just across the union territory border in Punjab. And in fact, the battle between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress has been an ugly one in Punjab, but in Chandigarh, they are backing Manish Tiwari. Let's see what happens. It was a close contest last time around between Kiran Kher and Pawan Bansal. 50,000 odd votes decided the matter. This time around, remember, for the Congress, every Lok Sabha winner last time was valuable. Every single one was valuable. Several who won, have repeatedly won, are all valuable. Manish Tiwari, if he can hold that one seat, it is valuable. If he can, let's see what happens. Let's hop across to the other side, where, of course, the most dramatic battle in Punjab is taking place, because the man who was the face of the Congress party in the state of Punjab for decades, the man who hails from the royal family, his wife is contesting. Let's hop across to Shubrana. Shubrana, what are people saying on the ground in Patiala?
Yes, definitely. It's important to talk to people because Patiala is a hot seat, but you can see since the weather is very warm, so that's why people are in less numbers in a queue. I would like to talk to some people here. Excuse me, आप बात करना चाहेंगे? ये बताइए, जब आप यहाँ वोट देने आए, मन में क्या मुद्दे थे? खाना खाकर आए?
खाना खा के आए हैं, बिल्कुल।
अच्छा, मुद्दे क्या थे?
मुद्दे हमारे पास बच्चों के विषय कई है, एजुकेशन का हो गया, एक हेल्थ का हो गया, इनका यही हमारा है कि बच्चे हमारे कामयाब हो रहे, कि बाहर ना जाना पड़े हमें।
अच्छा।
हाँ, कि हमें यहीं पर ही अपने बच्चों का भविष्य हमारे साथ ही रहे हमारे।
अच्छा, यानी बच्चे साथ रहें। ये बताइए, मुद्दे क्या थे? फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर हैं आप?
हाँ जी।
अच्छा, मुद्दे क्या है?
मुद्दे तो कुछ नहीं है, बस पढ़ाई में सपोर्ट करें हमारी, और तो क्या है।
पढ़ाई में सपोर्ट करें। अच्छा, हमारे साथ सीनियर सिटीजन्स भी बात करने के लिए मौजूद है। सर, ये बताइए, आप वोट करने आए, लेकिन मैं देख पा रही हूँ कि यहाँ बहुत कम लोग वोट करने के लिए आ रहे हैं। टेम्परेचर का कारण है, मौसम का कारण है, लेकिन आप भी वोट करने पहुँचे। क्या अपील करना चाहेंगे जो लोग घर पर हैं?
नहीं, वोट ज़रूरी पानी चाहिए हर एक को, ये हमारा अधिकार है। तो अगर वोट नहीं पाएंगे तो प्रॉपर सही कैंडिडेट भी कैसे आएंगे आगे। तो मेरी तरफ से तो सभी को अपील है,
अच्छा
दे मस्ट कम फॉरवर्ड टू कास्ट देयर वोट्स।
अच्छा, जो लोग घर पर बैठे हैं उनको क्या कहेंगे?
नहीं आएंगे, अभी तो स्टार्ट हुआ है ना, आफ्टर ब्रेकफास्ट नेचुरली वो।
डेफिनेटली। वी हैव सम मोर पीपल विद अस। ये बताइए मैम, बतौर महिला आप आई हैं, क्योंकि महिला सबकी फेवरेट आजकल वोटर रही हैं, तो बतौर महिला क्या मुद्दे हैं पटियाला के, क्या मुद्दे हैं? जी
ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ
हाँ
ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਸੜਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਉਹੀ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਆ ਜੀ ਮੇਨ ਤਾਂ।
मेन यही मुद्दे हैं।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂ,
अच्छा, जो घर पर वोटर्स बैठे हैं उनको कुछ कहना चाहिए?
ਨਹੀਂ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਾ ਕੇ। ਹਾਂਜੀ
जी,
बिल्कुल सबको आना चाहिए वोट
अच्छा,
डालने के लिए।
सबको वोट आना चाहिए, क्योंकि आप भी इतनी गर्मी में आई हैं, तो जो और भी महिलाएं हैं जो घर पर बैठी हैं उनको भी वोट करने के लिए आना चाहिए। क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
बिल्कुल सबको आना चाहिए, सबका हक है।
Okay.
Since Rishabh, there is very less people because
Okay.
right
Yeah.
now.
So we've just seen a handful of people in Chandigarh, a handful of people in that particular booth. Remember, this is anecdotal. This is one booth in one place. And yes, this is the end of the election campaign. It's the end of the elections. Yes, that's it. Today it's finished. At somewhere past 5 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock, when actually the shutters go down and the EVMs get their wax seals, it's done. All of that distilled and locked up in those offline EVMs to be tabulated on the morning of the 4th, which is just in 3 days' time. And yes, we are seeing a limited number of people. You just heard the Punjab Chief Minister, incumbent, saying that he hopes that the numbers will be north of 75, maybe even 80%. Let's hope that happens. Let's hope the maximum number of people come out and really make a fight of it. Because it matters, it does matter. Every single vote matters. I've seen MLA elections in this country decided by one vote. Okay. And one vote in parliament brought down a government at the center of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. One vote. Okay. It does matter. Let's hop across back to Varanasi, where, of course, my colleague, all dressed up despite the heat in UP, Akshat, he's making the best show for you guys. Akshat, thanks for sweating it out for us. What are people on the ground saying? It looks pretty sparse behind you also. I understand it's hot, but I can also imagine that a lot of people will indeed come and turn out and vote.
Well, yes, Rishabh, it's the most keenly watched battle when we talk about the Lok Sabha elections, because Prime Minister Modi himself in the fray against the Congress candidate Ajay Rai. Well, there you can see, people are all queued up to cast their ballot. Ma'am, क्या कुछ मुद्दे हैं जिनको ध्यान में रख के आप वोट डालेंगे?
मेरे पास तो नहीं है कुछ।
मैम, आप बताइए क्या कुछ मुद्दे हैं जिनको ध्यान में रख के वोट डालेंगे?
हाँ, विकास सबसे बड़ा
विकास का मुद्दा रहेगा।
यस।
वाराणसी के विकास को किस तरह से देखते हैं?
विकास तो बहुत है। विश्वनाथ मंदिर बन गया और नया वाला विश्वनाथ मंदिर भी बनने वाला है, उसकी जीत भी है, खुशी।
मैम, अगर आपसे भी पूछना चाहें, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे? क्या बेरोजगारी और महंगाई एक मुद्दा रहेगा, क्योंकि आप लोग घर चलाते हैं, तो उसको किस तरीके से?
बेरोजगारी और महंगाई, भाई बच्चे तो बहुत पढ़ने वाले हैं, सीट तो बहुत कम है, तो घर पर बच्चे तो पढ़ाई करके घर पर बैठेंगे नहीं। बच्चों को तो यही शिकायत है कि भाई सीट तो बहुत कम है और बच्चे बहुत ज़्यादा हैं।
मैम, आप बताइए किस तरीके से देखते हैं वाराणसी के विकास को?
हम लोग ऐसा सरकार चाहते हैं जो देश को अच्छी तरह चलाए, सबका दुख सुख अपना समझे। हमें ऐसी सरकार नहीं चाहिए जो देश का लूट कर चला जाए, कहे कि हम सब कुछ कर रहे हैं। हम लोगों को ऐसा नहीं चाहिए, समझिए। हमको ऐसा सरकार चाहिए जो देश अच्छे से चलाए, देश का विकास करे। आवाज़ किसी को पता नहीं कि देश किस तरह खतरे में है, तो हम लोगों को दुख होता है। जनता का सब जाता है, खून पसीने की कमाई सब सरकार लेकर चले जाते हैं। जनता को मिलता क्या है, ये बताइए? सब जनता के हाथ में है। जनता चाहे तो सरकार गिरा दे, सरकार बना दे। तो हम लोग ऐसा सरकार चाहते हैं जो देश को अच्छी तरह संभाल सके।
So of course, there you are hearing out some people. I will just try to talk to some more people out here. Sir, आप क्या कहेंगे? क्या कुछ मुद्दे हैं जिनको ध्यान में रख के वोट डालें?
बस वही सब है, विकास का।
So there you are hearing out some voters, and the development has actually taken center stage, not only in Varanasi but across the country, because as we know, Prime Minister is also campaigning across the length and breadth of the country. But many people also appeal that they want a government which actually works, for the betterment of the people, and unemployment and inflation are also being some of the key issues which some people are pointing out. Yes,
okay, the Bharatiya Janata Party first won this seat right after in fact, the BJP was founded in 1991. It lost to the Congress in 2004, but then Murli Manohar Joshi came and retained Varanasi. Narendra Modi and then took on the seat in 2014, won in 2019, and of course is contesting again in 2024. You would think expected to win that particular seat, but yes, even the Prime Minister of the country needs to go back and win votes in his particular constituency. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget to marvel at the fact that the largest electoral exercise in the history of humankind is about to conclude in a few hours from now. It's rather poignant. I am not under the stress of the results, so I can absorb the poignancy. If you're a politician contesting, you're definitely a bit stressed out right now. Shubhrana, Akshit, Vipin, thank you. Let's hop across. Joining us on the broadcast this morning, Xavier Rodriguez, representing the Bharatiya Janata Party. Amrit Gill is from the Congress. Alok Mehta, who's the editorial director of India News, joining us in the morning. Alok ji, let's look at Punjab. Fascinating. Okay, we'll get Alok ji in just a second. Let me then hop across to Savio. Savio, it is a fascinating contest because the BJP has not been much of a player in Punjab. Won a handful of seats last time, 5 out of the 20. Then we had something dramatic happening. The face of the Congress in Punjab for literally decades now is part of the BJP. His wife is contesting the seat of Patiala. She's hoping she's winning that particular seat. And of course, the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party don't get along in Punjab. They are the opponents there. How do you see the prospects of the BJP in Punjab?
Well, I believe the BJP will do as we have planned to do in Punjab. We will do very well in the seats that we are focusing on. I believe a lot of people in Punjab are going to repose their faith in Prime Minister Modi and the policies of the government under Prime Minister Modi, and that's really what you're going to see. But Rishabh, one of the main things that I always talk about when we talk about elections is that it's not so much what Congress or the BJP will do. What is important is the individual impact of what policies do to people, and on the basis of that is where they vote, and that's what's the reflection coming from the people that you're talking to. Your news reporters are talking to. People want to look at it individually now, and they also want to look at it from a state perspective as well as what's happening nationally and where India is growing globally. And that is the single-minded determination that would lead a voter to go and vote. And you will see on June 4th, I don't want to spoil the surprises, we believe that the people of the country will vote for a progressive India and a rising Bharat.
Okay. Let me get Ms. Gill back into this conversation just to have a perspective here. Amritji, it is an ironic situation that you are in an alliance, but that alliance is competing against each other. And the single biggest problem for the Congress party in Punjab is not been, ironically, the BJP. You've been replaced by the Aam Aadmi Party. How's the battle going? Do you expect to defeat them?
The battle is going very well. Congress is coming up with glorious colors, and we will be the highest, we will get the maximum number of seats. And Savio, I want to say one thing to you, that BJP will not be able to get even one seat from Punjab. That, mark my words, Congress is doing very well. We will come up the victorious with the maximum number of seats, followed by any other party. So Congress is doing the work, and people of Punjab are voting against inflation, against the policies which are like BJP. The farmers are not allowing BJP candidates to enter. You can see the condition. So whatever BJP can say, BJP has got no scope in Punjab, and they will not get any.
But Amritji, again, you're speaking of the BJP, but your principal opponents and those in government in the state is the Aam Aadmi Party, not the BJP. The BJP is not a force in Punjab.
Yeah, Congress is coming up victorious. We will score maximum number of seats in Punjab, and Punjab people are voting for change. People are voting for Haath Badlega Halat. They are voting for the democracy, and people of Punjab are in favor of hand and they will support Congress and we will come up victorious with maximum number of seats.
Okay, how would you rate the performance of the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab, with whom you intend to sit in government at the centre?
Aam Aadmi Party is the party in power and we are the party in opposition. So we don't have anything in common with Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab.
But you are allied with them at the centre, so you have a lot in common. Rahul Gandhi, ma'am, just voted for the Aam Aadmi Party. So did Priyanka Gandhi.
So it's the India Alliance. Aam Aadmi Party is a part of India Alliance, but in Punjab, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress are the main.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. I'll come straight back to you. JP Nadda, the BJP president, speaking this morning. Let's quickly listen in.
आशीर्वाद देना चाहते हैं, उसके लिए आतुर हैं। हर एक जगह मैंने देखा और भारतीय जनता पार्टी स्पष्ट रूप से एनडीए 400 पार कर रही है।
400 पार का नारा बहुत ज़्यादा महत्वाकांक्षी था, ऐसा कई लोगों ने कहा। कुछ लोगों ने ये भी कहा कि 400 पार का नारा इसलिए दिया गया है कि 400 पार लाके संविधान बदलना चाहते हैं। कुछ ने कहा रिजर्वेशन खत्म करने की साजिश है। तो इन सारी चीज़ों को बीजेपी ने काउंटर किया, लेकिन आपको लगता है कहीं ना कहीं 400 पार का लक्ष्य जो बात हुई उसका एक परसेप्शन जो बिल्डअप किया उसका नुकसान थोड़ा बहुत आपको हुआ?
नहीं, देखिए क्या होता है कि सारा देश 400 पार पर डिस्कशन कर रहा है। ये स्पष्ट है कि हम हमेशा एक लक्ष्य लेकर के चलते हैं और उस लक्ष्य को हासिल करने का प्रयास करते हैं और जनता का भी आशीर्वाद मिल रहा है। ये जो संविधान बदलने की बात कर रहे हैं, ये वो लोग हैं जो नेगेटिविज्म में ही जिन्होंने राजनीति की है। उनसे अपना तो कुछ होता नहीं है, अपने तो बारे में तो कुछ कह नहीं सकते कि हम ये कमा करके लाएंगे, हम ये आगे बढ़ेंगे। तो ये हमेशा लोगों को नेगेटिविज्म की तरह शक पैदा करना, भ्रम पैदा करना, गुमराह करना, रास्ते से भटकाना, समाज को बांटना, समाज को तोड़ना और फूट डालो राज करो, ऐसे प्रिंसिपल्स पर तो ये 75 साल चले हैं। ये तो मोदी जी ने पॉजिटिव नोट पर देश को आगे बढ़ाने का काम किया है और सक्षम भारत, सामर्थ्यवान भारत, आत्मनिर्भर भारत इस ओर ले जाने का काम किया है। ये लोग तो इस तरीके से काम करते हैं जो कि किस तरीके से लोग बटे रहें और इनको वोट बैंक की राजनीति मिल जाए, तुष्टीकरण हो जाए, एक साइजेबल चंक मिल जाए, जिसके आधार पर राजनीति करते रहें।
सर, ये एक ऐसा चुनाव था जिसमें लोगों ने अपने जो भी उनका घोषणा पत्र था उसके इतर जाके बाकी मुद्दों पे अपने चुनाव प्रचार किए। भाजपा की ओर से भी कई मुद्दे रहे, विपक्ष ने भी कई ऐसे मुद्दे उठाए जो कि उनकी घोषणा पत्र में भी नहीं। तो आपको क्या लगता है कि इन चुनाव में कौन से मुद्दे ऐसे रहे जो जनता के दिमाग में घर कर गए और जनता ने उनको ध्यान में रखा?
जनता ने एक ही बात ध्यान में रखी, मोदी की गारंटी मतलब गारंटी पूरी होने की गारंटी। देश सुरक्षित है, देश संबल हाथों में है, मजबूत हाथों में है। देश मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में एक मजबूत सरकार चला रहा है और भारत को सक्षम बना रहा है, आत्मनिर्भर बना रहा है। इसी के लिए वोट पड़ा है। और कुछ विषय कांग्रेस ने भ्रम डालने का प्रयास किया, जैसे उन्होंने अपने मैनिफेस्टो में माइनॉरिटीज़ को हम स्पेशल प्रेफरेंस देंगे। माइनॉरिटीज़ का मतलब उनके लिए मुस्लिम है, मतलब तुष्टीकरण है, मतलब सेकुलरिज्म से भटकाने की बात है। असल सेक्युलर तो मोदी जी हैं जिन्होंने सारी योजनाएं दी और कभी नहीं कहा कि किसी धर्म को दिया और किसी धर्म को नहीं दिया, सबको दिया, सबको एक साथ पिरो करके लाए। लेकिन ये स्पेशल ट्रीटमेंट, ये तुष्टीकरण, ये डिवाइड एंड रूल की बुनियाद रखी। ऐसी बातों को जब रखी तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक जिम्मेवार पार्टी के तरीके से इन बातों को काउंटर करती है और हम काउंटर करने में सफल रहे हैं।
सर, भाजपा बहुत शुरुआती दौर से करीब 2-3 दशक से लगातार ये बात कहती है कि हम 370 हटा देंगे, राम मंदिर बनवाने की बात थी। ये पहली बार इस चुनाव में आप गए हैं जब आपने वो अपना वादा और अपनी महत्वाकांक्षा पूरी की है। तो जनता ने कितना सपोर्ट किया इन मुद्दों, खासकर 370 को हटाने को और राम मंदिर बनाने को?
पूरे देश ने। हालांकि राम मंदिर हमारे लिए आस्था का विषय है, राम मंदिर हमारे लिए वोट का विषय नहीं है, राजनीति का विषय नहीं है। धारा 370 हमारे लिए देश का विषय है और वो कोई वोट की दृष्टि से नहीं, लेकिन सारा देश के साथ खड़ा रहा है और सबको समझ में आया कि राष्ट्रवादी पार्टी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने ये दोनों भारत का गौरव भी बचाया है, राम मंदिर बना करके भारत की विरासत, भारत की संस्कृति, उसकी रक्षा की है। और धारा 370 इसको हटाने से देश मजबूत हुआ है, एकीकृत हुआ है।
सर, देश में भाजपा के कुछ ऐसे प्रदेश हैं, पारंपरिक प्रदेश, जहां भाजपा ने हमेशा ही अच्छी बढ़त रखी है, अच्छी सीटें पाई हैं। 2014-2019 में तो कई स्टेट्स में स्वीप भी किया है, बीजेपी ने, विपक्ष 0 रहा है। इस बार कौन से ऐसे प्रदेश हैं जो लगता है भाजपा के पक्ष में जाएंगे नए सिरे से और देश को चौंकाएंगे, लोगों को चौंकाएंगे?
देखिए, पहली बात तो यह है कि जो हमारी पुरानी स्टेट्स हैं जहां हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी जीतती रही है, वहां हम मेंटेन करेंगे, वहां हम रिटेन करेंगे। वहाँ हमारी सारी सीटें हम जीत करके आएंगे। जो नई स्टेट्स हैं उसमें वेस्ट बंगाल बहुत अच्छा करने वाला है, 42 सीटें हैं, हम 30 को क्रॉस करेंगे, 30 सीटें हम वहाँ से जीत करके आने वाले हैं। ममता जी बौखला गई हैं। उड़ीसा में हम 21 में से 18 प्लस सीटें हम जीत करके आएंगे। उसी तरीके से हम तेलंगाना में अपने टैली को डबल कर लेंगे। तमिलनाडु में हम सीटें जीतेंगे। हम केरल में इस बार सीट जीतने वाले हैं और वोट शेयर तो हमारा सब जगह बढ़ेगा ही बढ़ेगा।
सर, महाराष्ट्र एक बहुत क्रूशल स्टेट है, दूसरा सबसे बड़ा स्टेट है यूपी के बाद, जहां 48 सीटें आती। पिछली बार बहुत अच्छा प्रदर्शन किया था, आपके पास 41-42 सांसद थे। इस बार समीकरण बदले हुए हैं, महाराष्ट्र को लेकर के क्या असेसमेंट है आपका?
हम फिर से जीत करके आएंगे, अच्छे से जीत करके आएंगे, पुरानी टैली को मेंटेन करेंगे।
और सर, बंगाल में कई चीज़ों की चर्चा हुई, क्योंकि हमेशा से ही ममता बनर्जी सबसे मुखर रही हैं, इंडिया अलायंस में भी उन्होंने बहुत अग्रणी भूमिका ली थी। तो बंगाल का जो चुनाव, आपको क्या लगता है समीकरण कहाँ बदल गए हैं इस बार लोकसभा? पिछली बार से इस बार आप कह रहे हैं कि ज़्यादा नंबर आएंगे, तो क्या कारण रहे पिछले 5 सालों में?
ध्यान में आ गया कि ममता जी जिन बातों के लिए जानी जाती थी, वो जानी जाती थी माँ माटी मानुष। माँ का वो हाल किया जो शाहजहां शेख ने सारी दुनिया को दिखा दिया। माटी का वो हाल किया कि घुसपैठियों ज़मीन कब्जा कर रहे हैं और ज़मीन जिहाद चला रहे हैं। और मानुष का वो हाल किया कि बिना घूस के, बिना टोलाबाजी के, बिना टीएमसी के कार्यकर्ताओं को पैसा दिए बगैर कोई काम नहीं होता है। तो ये वहाँ के लोग उकता चुके हैं, दुखी हो गए हैं और टीएमसी से बदला लेने के लिए बैठे हैं।
सर, इंडिया अलायंस ने बहुत एकजुट रहने की कोशिश की, दिखाने की कोशिश की हम एकजुट हैं। कई जगह से आप चुनाव भी लड़े, पंजाब में और बाकी जगहों पे। आज उनका दावा है कि 270 के पार वो आराम से जाएंगे, सरकार उनकी आराम से बनेगी, लेकिन फिर भी वो कहते हैं कि एग्जिट पोल्स में हमारा कोई प्रवक्ता नहीं जाएगा, कांग्रेस ने साफ किया है।
इसलिए कि एग्जिट पोल में सच्चाई जब आती है तो सच्चाई से भागते हैं। कमिंग इवेंट्स कास्ट द शैडो बिफोर। आने वाली घटनाएं अपना संकेत पहले दे देती हैं। तो वो ठीक है, उनको आखिर एग्जिट पोल पे कुछ आ जाता है तो उससे क्या सरकार बनती है? क्या उससे कोई चुनाव के नतीजे असर करते हैं? क्या नहीं करते हैं। लेकिन आपको विश्वास ही नहीं है, क्योंकि आपने इतने दिन तक, 1.5 महीने तक आप झूठ पर ही चलते रहे और आप लोगों को गुमराह करने के लिए लगे रहे। अब सच्चाई सामने आने वाली है तो आप डर गए।
सर, जो एकजुटता का दावा किया जाता है इंडिया अलायंस के, तो पिछले 1 साल से आपका उनको लेकर क्या अवलोकन रहा और क्या महसूस करते हैं? जिस तरीके से वो बयानबाजी भी करते रहे, साथ में भी रहे, चुनाव भी साथ में लड़ रहे हैं, कई सीटों पर अलग अलग भी जा रहे हैं, तो आपका खुद का अनुभव क्या है उनके 1 साल के एकजुटता?
ऐसा है, देखिए, उनके बारे में आप बड़े स्पष्ट शब्दों में आप देखते हैं कि आज इंडिया अलायंस की बैठक होगी, साथ में नीचे आता है ममता नहीं आएगी, फलाने नहीं आएंगे, धमकाने नहीं आएंगे। तो ये अनसाइंटिफिक अलायंस है, ये अवसरवादी का अलायंस है, ये ज़्यादा दिन चलने वाला नहीं होता और ये टेम्पररी होता है। ये तो एक जमावड़ा है भ्रष्टाचारियों का, ये जमावड़ा है परिवारवाद की राजनीति को आगे बढ़ाने वालों का। ये इसी तरीके से समाप्त होगा।
सर, जैसे कि आप मानते हैं कि अगली सरकार फिर मोदी जी बनाएंगे, तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बनेंगे, तो आप पार्टी के अध्यक्ष होने के नाते आपको क्या लगता है कि सरकार की प्राथमिकताएं आने वाले 5 सालों के लिए क्या होनी चाहिए या क्या हो सकती हैं?
ऐसा है, ये तो प्रधानमंत्री जी तय करेंगे, वो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री हैं और ये प्राइम मिनिस्टर का ही प्रेरोगेटिव होता है। लेकिन उन्होंने बहुत सी बातें विजन डॉक्यूमेंट में रखा है, अपने संकल्प पत्र में रखा है, उनको हम आगे बढ़ाएंगे।
ट्रेलर अब तक देखा है लोगों ने, पिक्चर बाकी है, ऐसा मोदी जी ने कहा है। तो आने वाले 5 साल अगर सरकार बीजेपी की आती है तो क्या सही में पूरी पिक्चर होगी?
निश्चित रूप से पूरी ताकत के साथ वो प्रधानमंत्री जी अब विकसित भारत के संकल्प को पूरा करने के लिए पूरी पिक्चर दिखाएंगे।
आप आए, मैं समझ गया।
Just heard JP Nadda, fascinating life story there. His family, of course, is from Himachal. He was born in Patna, studied there, came back. He served, became an MLA in Himachal, served in the government of Anurag Thakur's father, Prem Kumar Dhumal, who was the former chief minister of Himachal. And speaking of Anurag Thakur, there he is casting his vote. He's contesting once again from Hamirpur, hoping to vote the seat. Bhagwant Mann there on your screens, standing in line with his wife. Others, of course, voting in Punjab this morning. Let me go back to our guest before we hop across to the other side of the country. Remember, where the PM, of course, is meditating right now. Ms. Gill, sorry I interrupted you. We will just try to have a conversation. And I understand the premise of the conversation for an audience is a complex one. Alliances between political parties, what Nitish Kumar has been up to, changing sides every 1 year, who knows? Why the BJP was an alliance with Mehbooba Mufti in Jammu and Kashmir, who knows? How the Uddhav Thackeray faction or Uddhav Thackeray's party was an alliance with the Congress, and Uddhav Thackeray himself never went to Ram Mandir despite his father's agitation, who knows? But ma'am, in a very practical sense, all your party leaders, Sonia Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, have just voted for Aam Aadmi Party. They have been saying publicly that they have voted for Aam Aadmi Party, and you are saying Aam Aadmi Party is your opponent in Punjab. How does that make sense?
As I earlier also told you that Aam Aadmi Party is a part of India Alliance, except Punjab. In Punjab, we are not in alliance. We are opponents. They are in power and we are the main opponents, and we don't have anything in common with Aam Aadmi Party. Congress is doing their own. So if we have to come up for the national, in Aam Aadmi Party is a part of National Alliance. So Gandhis live in Delhi and the candidate, common candidate is from Aam Aadmi Party, and they have to vote for Aam Aadmi Party. How does that matter? In Punjab, I am from Congress and we voted for the Congress, and Aam Aadmi Party is not in alliance with Congress. So how does that matter?
Ma'am,
So
it does matter, because the Aam Aadmi Party is currently trying to defeat you, and you are trying to defeat the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, how can the Aam Aadmi Party at the centre be different than the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab?
We are together to save the constitution. We are standing together against the dictatorial regime of Modi, BJP. We are standing against that.
Okay.
The
all
way
right.
they have treated farmers, the way they have, there is a maximum inflation in the country, and they have messed up everything.
So you are saying Aam Aadmi Party has done a good job, and the BJP is the BJP is not in power in Punjab. But you are saying the Aam Aadmi Party has done a good job, or have they done a bad job? What is the performance of the Aam Aadmi Party that you observe?
Where? In Punjab?
Ma'am, that's where they are in power. That's the full state that the Aam Aadmi Party has a government in.
So Congress Party is asking, we are asking for change. We are asking for the Haath Badlega Halat, and people are voting for Nyay, for Yuva Nyay,
Okay.
Nari Kisan Nyay. People are standing in favor of Congress, and definitely Congress is coming
Okay.
with maximum number of
Okay,
seats
let's
in
see, because
Punjab.
elections are, literally votes are being cast as we speak, okay? And yes, it is the Congress which is seeing a resurgence in force in Punjab. There have been faces that have changed in Punjab as well. You're not really seeing a very active Navjot Singh Sidhu. You saw him at the end of the last assembly election. But let me then flip the question around to Savio Rodriguez. Savio, but it does cut the other way, right? I mean, for gosh sake, what are the allies of the BJP? Number one comes to mind is Nitish Kumar, whom you had ugly breakups. You lost how many times that there have been breakups and patch-ups. Then, Chandrababu Naidu, he walked out of the alliance. It was bitterness for years. Now he's back. So let's face it, every political party has these alliances of convenience, even though the Congress, of course, is in an awkward position right now.
Rishabh, there is something in the Islamic belief system or processes or procedures that is called nikah muta, nikah of convenience rather, where people get married in the Islamic faith for a day, for 2 days, 3 days, or a couple of weeks for a purpose, which I don't want to openly talk about right now. That's exactly what the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party alliance is as far as the Lok Sabha elections is concerned. It is a nikah muta, which is an alliance of convenience, which they will work in some places together, and in some places they will be fighting with each other, just like two people in a relationship. But the most important thing for us to understand is that alliances in politics are part and parcels of the necessities of the moment and the principles of alliance that happen between political parties. The Congress is within its right to have alliance partners, and that's why they've come together with the India Alliance. The NDA is also within its right to have its own alliance partners. You have to find commonality. You have to find a common minimum program to work together. The problem, Rishabh, will arise between the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party beyond the Lok Sabha election.
Obviously.
Because let's say a place like Goa, where the Congress the Aam Aadmi Party is supporting the Congress, it is the Aam Aadmi Party that will benefit out of the Lok Sabha exercise, because it's the Aam Aadmi Party that will strengthen its hold as far as Goa is concerned. The same you will find in Punjab, the same you will find in other states where Aam Aadmi Party and Congress are working together.
Okay, so let's look at what's different. What is different is that the last time there was a Lok Sabha election, there was no Aam Aadmi Party government in Punjab. This time there is. There is, remember, no Aam Aadmi Party Lok Sabha member of Parliament from Punjab, but most of the Rajya Sabha members of Parliament of the Aam Aadmi Party, of course, are all primarily from Punjab. Your Harbhajan Singh, Raghav Chadda, all of these are elected from the seats that they get from Punjab, 7 of them. So the Aam Aadmi Party's Lok Sabha tally in Punjab is sitting at the end of the last Lok Sabha at 0. It is the Congress which has been the party to defeat in Punjab. And of course, the big question then is, how do we, in a particular situation between the Shiromani Akali Dal, which was once allied to the BJP, how this plays out? It's going to be fascinating. Just hold your horses. You're watching, of course, in Patna, where Tej Pratap and Tejasvi, another India Alliance partner, are voting right now. Tejasvi Yadav, of course, has shown up. He's been suffering from distress and injuries, has come in a wheelchair this morning. So let's keep those visuals on our screens. I'm going to take an opportunity just to touch base with what's going on, because elections are going to wrap up in a few hours. Yes, 10% are left today, and it's done. Hopping across to my colleague Mahima, who's all the way on the other side of the country, where, of course, the PM is doing his tapasya, which ends at 3 o'clock this afternoon, because he heads back to Delhi. Mahima, what's going on?
Good morning, Rishabh. We are going to show you the visuals early in the morning, that how beautiful the Vivekananda Rock Memorial looks like. And yes, like you correctly pointed out, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is continuing his 45 hours of meditation here at this very rock. We are just 300 meters away from the place where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is meditating. But also why this place, Rishabh, is important, not just because of the beautiful rock that this seems to be, but also it is said that Swami Vivekananda has meditated here for almost 3 days, and the Rock Memorial monument was built to pay tribute to the Hindu philosophers. So these are the visuals that we people are giving you, and also taking you a little back in 2019, that how Prime Minister Narendra Modi also meditated in one of the caves near to Kedarnath. But also what is important here is that
Okay, all right. We can still see her, because you can still see the birds flying. I think I've lost the phone line there with the audio. On the left side of your screens are the visuals you got, the photographs of you got of the PM doing his tapasya. Remember, this ends today at around about 3:30. The PM is expected to depart. It's about a 2.5 hour flight, and it's back to Delhi. Meanwhile, Tejasvi Yadav speaking this morning. Let's quickly listen in.
और इस लोकतंत्र के पर्व में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग जो हैं भागीदार बने वोट दे करके, यही हम लोगों की इच्छा है। और देश का संविधान, लोकतंत्र जो बाबा अम्बेडकर ने जो लिखा है, आज हम सब लोगों को मिलकर उसकी हिफाजत की घड़ी आई है, और इसको हम लोगों को हिफाजत करना है, बचाना है और देश को आगे बढ़ाना है। तो हम लोग तो एकदम टनाटन, सब लोग, पूरा बिहार का मिजाज टनाटन है, और सब रोजगार के मुद्दे पर, नौकरी के मुद्दे पर, महंगाई के मुद्दे पर, गरीबी के मुद्दे पर सब लोग जो है इस बार, जिन लोगों ने महंगाई, बेरोजगारी बढ़ाई है, उनके खिलाफ जो है सब लोग जो है वोट देंगे।
आप ये बताइए, आप जा रहे हैं बैठक में, तेजस्वी जी आज बैठक में जा रहे हैं, क्या एजेंडा है? दिल्ली बैठक में जा रहे हैं, क्या एजेंडा है बैठक का?
देखिए, वो तो आज बैठक 3 बजे से है। बैठक के बाद जो है हम लोग उस पर जरूर आप लोगों को बताएंगे कि क्या बात है।
एग्जिट पोल पे, do you believe on exit poll? Do you believe on exit poll? Because many leaders are not cooperating for the exit poll.
What kind of exit poll and whose exit poll we should believe? There are so many exit polls, right? So we should wait for the 4th June and what we have seen in ground. And we have a belief and faith in people of India that this time India Gathbandhan, India Alliance is coming to form a government on 4th June and NDA is going soon.
तेजस्वी जी, कहा जा रहा है कि इंडिया गठबंधन को एकजुट रखने के लिए बैठक है कि एकजुट रहे इंडिया गठबंधन।
अरे आप छोड़िए अभी सबके चर्चा, आज लोकतंत्र है, बैठक के बाद
Okay, all right. You've heard Tejasvi Yadav. He's, of course, also headed to Delhi for that India Alliance meeting. Mamata Banerjee is not going to be attending that meeting today. She might join tomorrow, might never join. We don't know. Live visuals coming in, or latest visuals, I have to say, of just a few minutes ago, of the Prime Minister at the Vivekananda Lock Memorial. Meanwhile, let me hop across and try to hop across back to Mahima, who's there. Mahima, we can see the shots inside. What's the PM schedule? Because I'm told, of course, this ends in a few hours, and he also heads back to Delhi.
Rishabh, like you correctly pointed out, somewhere down the line, the tentative time that has been given of Prime Minister's meditation to end is nearly in between 1 to 2. So 2 is the tentative time that is given that he's going to fly from Kanyakumari. But the latest visuals that we people are giving you and showing the early in the morning that how beautiful this Vivekananda Rock Memorial looks like. And Rishabh, to give a little bit of glimpse that what exactly this rock memorial is all about with the pictures. The rock where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is meditating has a major impact or had a major impact on Vivekananda's life and holds a similar significance in monk's life as Sarnath for the Gautam Buddha. It was very much on this rock where Vivekananda arrived after wandering across the country, meditated here for 3 days and had a vision for developed India. And similarly, there are questions being raised, Rishabh, that why Prime Minister Narendra Modi has chosen this particular place, that is the Kanyakumari, in the Kanyakumari, the Vivekananda Rock Memorial. It seems to be because we people have heard Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been vocal about how North and South are equal. It is all about one nation. It is all about one Rashtra. He's been vocal about in his rallies. That the opposition and the local leaders here down in South who have been attacking the Sanatan, this is a befitting reply to the opposition parties.
It could be a lot of things, because I'm drawing a safe assumption that some thought is applied to what the Prime Minister is doing and where he's doing it. But it could also just be an individual who's going there to meditate and has the privilege to be able to do so. Let me quickly hop across and get the perspective on this from Alok Mehta. Alok Mehta, I mean, here you have a person who has proved himself electorally, delivered the best mandate the BJP has ever had, been Prime Minister for 10 years. You know, his place in history is already set. Okay, he's going to be one of the longest serving prime ministers in this country regardless. So at this then stage, what do you think goes on in the mind of a person? Is it calm confidence? Is it some sort of you're in a different orbit, or is it like a human being before any result? One is a little bit nervous, a little bit trepidatious.
No, Rishabh ji, certainly he's a human being. But what I feel from the very beginning, he's a very devoted person. From childhood, you know, in a teenager, he left the home and then he was going around all over the India. So what I feel, this is the insight. He's not disturbed, not worried about the result. I think Narendra Modi is one of the leaders in India. Maybe number of other leaders also thinking like that. But what I feel, what I followed him this long, that he is a very confident person and he doesn't believe that jeetenge ya harenge. He always believes one should work and one should meditate also, because this Eknath Ranerji, he worked with him sometime when he was RSS worker and he was very young, because I know Eknath Ranerji was in the RSS man and then that's why Congress opposing it. I am just telling you because even in fact 1972 it was, when people talk about 1970, it was completed. But there was so much hurdle by the Congress leaders at the time, and because of the pressure, and President Giri was there. Nobody mentioned yesterday also. President Giri was also from South and then from Bengal, and this message is not only for South, this message is for West Bengal. When Mamata Banerjee is real, since Narendra Modi came in power, I was telling people that
Yes.
Mamata Banerjee's real challenge for the even as a Congress party man. She was earlier was a Congress leader. Now she became also left or right or whatever she's thinking about it. But that's why I think this message is for West Bengal people also to say east to south mixing. I mean, if you give a message, if you want to understand just say politics, but I don't think he went there for his own peace, for thinking, meditating, and not worried about what people say about it.
Okay, all right. Let me hop across to Savio Rodriguez. Savio, you met Narendra Modi, you've written books about him, okay? As an individual, for people watching a telecast like this, watching him doing meditation, where is the politician? Where is the line between the human being? Because any individual, is in the end we're all human beings. What is then the optics that is being generated, and what is the astha?
Rishabh, you know my background in theology and religion. And when I look at explaining spirituality or religion, I turn a lot to my faith and the teachings of Jesus. Now, if you look at his own life and the life of Jesus, you see that during his work, he always retreated to solitude and to be one with the Heavenly Father. And I think that's the hallmark of any great spiritual person or spiritual leader, who could be political leader as well, to be able to find time to be one with the Almighty and to be able to get that spiritual energy that allows for you to perform the human tasks that are ordained or designed for you in your life. Now, the opposition has been making a lot of hue and cry about the fact that Narendra Modi's got a spiritual side to him. He spoke about the fact that he believes that God has sent him to do a purpose in life. I think we are all in our belief systems, whether you're a Christian or Muslim or a Hindu, we are all created for a purpose in life. And that purpose is something that we will eventually find out as we move and we journey through life. So the optics around it that people are trying to talk about or propagate, if you went back to the time when there were, spiritual leaders in India or in other parts of the world, and if there were phones available and cameras available at that point of time, you might have seen posters of them or photographs of them also doing the rounds. We live in a different technological world right now. So obviously there are going to be cameras, there are going to be phones, people are going to create pictures. He is, of course, a global leader, and people are going to want to capture his images. But that's secondary. What is important and the message that's going out, and I think the people of this country must understand that, is that eventually, no matter what hard work you put, you have to come at the feet of God to get your energy back ahead, to get your energy back again, and to be prepared for the journey that is ahead for you. And that's
as you're seeing, of course, the statue of Vivekananda in the backdrop there, both inside and outside, it is more than just curious onlookers. Obviously, there is a pageantry about it, even in solitude. You're seeing, of course, multiple images, multiple cameras that are following the Prime Minister. And of course, people are watching because there is a curiosity to it. So let me ask Ms. Gill, Amritji, why do your party leaders have such an issue with the PM going to Tapasya? Why is it such a problem?
We don't have any issues with the Tapasya. We don't have any issues with the meditation. We do have an issue with the event management. We do have an issue if a leader is going for meditation or for spiritual, one can go. Why to have so much of cameras and why to always talk about? He is like the election, we are finished with the campaigns and all 48 hours before, but still he, without speaking, he is everywhere. He is influencing. He is trying to influence everything. But we respect. He should have gone anywhere, na? Why so many of cameras? Why there is buzz? Why we are right now discussing about the meditation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi? We should have talked about something else, but still we are talking and we are being shown about the statues of Swami Vivekananda. There is no need.
Why? What's the problem with Swami Vivekananda statues?
Yeah, we can see that could be, but if Prime Minister had gone there, then it's okay. Why there are so many cameras revolving around? And if there are cameras, that could be shown afterwards. But still, all the media, national media, everywhere, it's the Modi ji.
Okay, so why doesn't Rahul ji do the same? There is no shortage of cameras, ma'am, in the country. Okay, Rahul ji is very active on social media also. Why doesn't he do the same?
I don't believe that if somebody goes, our gurus go for meditation, but they don't take the cameras, and we find it a event management and always on trying to influence and without speaking is also trying to make a difference, but nothing will come out because people of India had voted against him. They have voted to safeguard the constitution and to safeguard the democracy.
So let's call it. Okay, let's be straightforward. Let me try to be straightforward, ladies and gentlemen. If an individual is doing something and it is doing something which is unprecedented, this has never happened before, where a pattern has been set by a sitting prime minister that he will meditate at the end of his election campaign. Okay, it is a pattern, something reminiscent and a reminder to all of us of the importance of these traditions. People from all over the world come to India to discover themselves. Okay, the leaders, corporate leaders, business honchos, artists, film stars, singers, musicians, literally from the Beatles to Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, so to instantly doubt the person and accuse that person of artifice, I think is a bit specious. But at the same time, we have to understand that where Narendra Modi goes, cameras follow, there is curiosity. If you want to beat it, come up with a better plan. So let me ask Alok Mehta. Alok ji, how much of this griping? Because there is a conversation and no doubt about it, the Prime Minister of this country, Narendra Modi, not only knows what to do, is well sorted, is well planned, his team is well executed. It's a very good run operation. Now other people can be really upset about it, or they can simply do the same. What's stopping them from doing the same?
Rishabh, what I know that Narendra Modi is such a leader who never believe on the management of this. Somebody will decide his program, and most of the time one can suggest as a assistant, as an advisor or colleague of the party. But normally what he plans in such a visit or temples or any places there, as a prime minister or as an individual also, but that's what I'm telling you. And here is just one point about it. Code of ethics, Congress and other parties. Since long we were also talking on the news channel also, that they should amendment of these kind of thing after the social media. Because the camera, he is not taking number of people all over the world, BBC and Voice of America or CNN, number of people, they hire the Indian cameramen, Indian colleagues of our journalists from all over the world, even from China and Moscow. And then they followed, like if you, why Princess Diana was followed, she was not even the Prime Minister. But I'm just taking, somebody just gives some glimpse. Then it's why the objection. They should change in the amendment of the Election Commission. And Rahul Gandhi, when he go to Mahakal, he go to Banaras, he do all kind of this drama. And why he takes so much in Nyaya Yatra, so much cameramen hired by agencies, advertising agencies, crores. Every day he was spending 2 crores of rupees for this. Can you imagine this kind of Nyaya Yatra? He also went to Kanyakumari. Why nobody showed up?
So like I said, there are 2 parts of this. One is, and we leave your judgment call to it, that you have an individual who genuinely wants to do this. This is his approach. I will spend Diwali. This is how I spend the end of the election campaign. And the second is, if somebody is upset about it, they can simply do the same. Because do politicians like a bit of publicity? Yes, they do. Is it all artifice? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a person just being who they are. And the cameras follow. We leave it to your judgment.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.